As you're here now, listening, just noticing the sound of your own thoughts, perhaps a part of you has already begun to shift, hasn't it? Because there's something that you've always known deep down, something ancient, something wise, something powerful. It's now is the time to let go. Now is the time to drop the weight you've been carrying for far too long. And you might not even know exactly when you picked it up. Maybe it was a long time ago. Maybe it was little by little, bit by bit, until one day you realized, somehow, almost without noticing, you'd been carrying everything, the weight of the past, the weight of the world. It wasn't your fault. You were doing the best you could with what you had, weren't you? And yet, somewhere along the way, you started to believe that the pain, the fear, the doubt, they were part of you. That you had to hold on to them. That they were keeping you safe, protecting you, shielding you from something bigger, something scarier. But here's the truth. You've already survived what you thought you couldn't. You've already proven how strong you are. And so, right now, in this moment, you can decide, just like that, to let it go. Because it's not you. It was never you. It was just a story, wasn't it? A story you once told yourself to make sense of things. But stories, they can change. And today, the story changes. You can feel it already, can't you? That lightness, that sense of possibility, that little spark, glowing brighter and brighter. As you realize, you don't need to hold on anymore. You can give yourself permission to release it. And when you do, something wonderful happens. It's like a door opens inside you. It's like you've been walking in a dark room with the curtains closed. But now, the window opens and the light comes pouring in. And maybe you even begin to feel it now. A fresh breeze, a sense of relief, a sense of freedom. Like you can breathe again, like you're coming back to life. Because that part of you, the part you thought was lost, your joy, your creativity, your power, your spirit, it was never gone. It was just waiting for you, waiting for this moment, waiting for you to remember who you've always been. The truth is, you've always been whole, not broken, not stuck, not incomplete. And as you let that feeling settle in deeper and deeper now, you might begin to notice something interesting. The old beliefs, the ones that said you couldn't or shouldn't, or had to wait just a little longer, they start to dissolve. They start to lose their grip, like sand slipping through your fingers. And in their place, something new begins to take root. A belief that you're free, a belief that you're powerful, a belief the best. It's not only possible, it's inevitable. Because the truth is, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And the more you think about that, the more you let it sink in, the more exciting it becomes, doesn't it? Because you can feel it, the possibilities unfolding, the path opening up before you, the certainty that from today on it only gets better. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil. You don't have to force it to grow. You don't have to push or struggle. It just happens naturally, effortlessly, one moment at a time. And all you need to do is trust. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And as you do, you'll begin to notice all the ways life starts to shift. How opportunities appear where there were none. How the right people, the right moments, the right resources, they just seem to show up almost like magic. And maybe you'll wonder, was it always this easy? And the answer is yes. It's always been available to you. And now you've remembered. So take that first step forward. Step into the lightness. Step into the freedom. Step into the next chapter of your life, knowing the best is yet to come. Because it really does get better from here on, doesn't it? All you have to do is allow it. And isn't it interesting how change can happen so quickly, almost before you even realize it? It's like turning the page of a book, moving effortlessly from one chapter to the next. And just like that, the old chapter, the one filled with struggle, hesitation and waiting, it begins to feel distant, like something that happened a long time ago, to someone else entirely. Because the truth is, you've always been evolving, shifting, changing, even when you didn't notice it, especially when you didn't notice it. And right now, those changes, they're happening faster and easier than ever before, aren't they? Because here's the secret. You've always known this. There's nothing to fix. There never was. The parts of you that felt broken or incomplete, they were never really broken at all. They were just waiting for you to see them differently, waiting for you to embrace them, to realize the cracks, they were never flaws. They were openings, doorways to something greater. What's funny is, as you begin to see it in this way, everything changes. Suddenly, the things that once felt heavy or overwhelming, they become light, easy, natural. It's like learning to swim. At first, you try so hard to stay afloat, splashing and struggling, convinced you have to fight to stay above the water. But then you discover the water supports you. You don't have to fight. You don't have to struggle. You just have to trust to relax, to allow yourself to float. And isn't that what life is like? The more you let go, the more life carries you where you are meant to be. Because you've always known something greater is calling you, whispering in the quiet moments, reminding you there's more to this life than survival, more than waiting, more than getting through the day. There's joy, there's freedom, there's abundance. That abundance is already yours. It's not something you have to fight or chase or deserve. It's something you've always had, something you are. Because abundance, it isn't out there. It's not a destination. It's who you are at your core. It's your birthright. And as you begin to feel that truth settling in now, deeper and deeper, you might even begin to smile because you realize it's been there all along, hasn't it? Waiting for you to notice it. And just like that, your story shifts. Suddenly, you're not the one carrying the weight of the world. You're the one dancing through it, light, free, effortless. And it's so easy to do, isn't it? To step into this new version of yourself, to become the person you're always meant to be. And the best part, it's not about doing more. It's not about fixing or changing or improving yourself. It's about remembering. Remembering that you are already enough, more than enough, worthy, whole, right now, just as you are. And once you know that, once you really know it deep in your bones, everything starts to fall into place. Doors open, opportunities appear. Life becomes easier, lighter, more joyful. And it feels so natural, like coming home after a long journey, like stepping into warm sunlight after a long, cold winter. Because the truth is, you were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to suffer. You're always meant to thrive. And now that's exactly what you're doing. Step by step, breath by breath. Because every breath you take now, it's filled with possibility. Every breath carries you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. The life that's been waiting for you all along. And maybe you've already started to notice how your thoughts are shifting, how your mind feels clearer, lighter, how new ideas, new perspectives, new possibilities, they begin to bubble up effortlessly, like fresh water from a spring. And isn't it amazing how those changes, they can ripple out into every part of your life? Suddenly conversations flow more easily. Solutions appear without effort. Things that once seemed impossible now feel inevitable. Because you're in flow now, in sync, aligned with something bigger, something wiser, something unstoppable. And the more you trust that flow, the more it carries you exactly where you're meant to be. Because here's the real secret. You've always been enough. You've always been capable. You've always been powerful. And the more you step into that truth, the more life opens up for you in ways that feel almost magical. It's like walking through a garden at sunrise. Every step reveals something new, something beautiful, something unexpected and delightful. As you take the next step, and the next, and the next, you realize the best part of all is you don't have to figure it all out now. You don't have to have all the answers. All you have to do is take the next step. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Because life is unfolding perfectly, exactly as it should. And as you begin to embrace this truth more and more, you discover everything you've ever been searching for was inside you all along.